questions.
What do you do if you see someone, you say something to them,
Mm-hmm.
or if you are given a chance to say the word Torah in a place, and you do, and you notice every time you're addressing issues that are considered sensitive issues, the rabbis or leaders in this place get uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable and interrupts you, uncomfortable or just makes faces.
Make faces and tell you that your time is short.
It's his shul or it's yours? His shul. So, I mean, the thing is, though, is that teaching in another rabbi's shul is always going to be a problem, even if you're telling 100% of the truth, and even if he agrees with what you're saying. The reason why is because a rabbi is still human, and unless he's like 100% ish emet, which is very, very hard to find, he's always going to be concerned for his job. Because he has kids, he has a wife, he has parnasah issues. You don't exactly make a lot of money in most shuls. And usually the rabbis that make the most amount of money are not exactly tzaddikim. But that's just a few that I know. But the point I'm trying to say is that he's going to be worried about his job. And if another speaker comes and tells the kehillah things that are different than what he said, immediately he's going to be defensive. His human evil inclination is going to be defensive because, hey, this guy is telling him something. Yes, it's true. It's true what he says. You're not allowed to drive on Shabbat. Yes, it's true. You're not allowed to go drink coffee in Starbucks. Yes, it's true. You're not allowed to walk around naked or in your underwear. You're not. Even though everybody does, you're not allowed. Be'emet. It's true. And he's saying it. Rabbi doesn't like to hear it. Why? Because the woman that's walking around in her underwear just signed a check for $10,000 last month. The guy that drives on Shabbat just signed a check for $50,000. Understand? The guy that's gambling, that you talked about gambling, signed a check for $100,000 because he won a poker tournament. All these people you're talking about, they're in the crowd, they're the ones that are paying him his salary. He's worried. So, if it's in a shul, in a situation like that, it's only natural. So, I think that first and foremost, you have to understand that it's a problem. It's a disease. And the only way to cure it is by bringing more Torah to the world, by doing your shiur somewhere else. Because you're not going to be allowed to do it there. I can tell you from my experience. I mean, I don't really like to talk about myself that much as far as like accomplishments and things like that my whole life, because I never really understood the whole concept of jealousy. But I'll give you an example just because it serves a purpose for this. When I first moved here, moved to Florida, now I already taught a little bit of Torah to some people in New York, but not like organized like I do now. And I went to the rabbi of the shul, and I told him, listen, I've been a speaker for almost 20 years, professionally in business. Now I teach Torah, I teach a class. If you want, if you're ever missing, you're not here, or if you ever want somebody to fill you in, to say Dvar Torah, you don't have to even ask me. Just say, go, speak. You don't have to prepare me. So Hashem will give me something to say. Okay. So I went, and one Shabbat, he told me, okay, you could speak on Sudas Lishit, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. I spoke 5-10 minutes. The crowd was very, very excited, very happy. Chazaku Baruch, blessings, all that stuff. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Great, okay. Next week, speak again. Crowd was even more excited than the first week. Baruch Hashem, wow, Chazaku Baruch, beautiful, all these compliments, which, I'm not a big fan of compliments, just do tshuva. Doesn't really make a difference to me. If you like me, just do tshuva. So, third week, Chazaku Baruch, people get up, all this. So at the very least, I'm getting some feedback from people. People are asking me, oh, you're going to have shiur today, you have shiur. It's only 10 minutes a week. You have shiur today, you have shiur today. People are asking if I have shiur. Oh yeah, I'm going to have shiur. If they tell me to speak, I'll speak. The fourth week comes, the rabbi tells me, no, we're not going to have you speak anymore. I said, why not? Kvod Harav, why? And he says, because we're going to use, a few people in the Kehillah said that they rather use the time that I'm not speaking to sing songs. To sing songs. Instead of listen to Torah for the first and last time during the entire week, because most of these people are driving on Shabbat. The only chance of them ever doing tshuva was listening to this 10 minutes, because the only thing this imbecile rabbi is talking about is alachot of Pesach when it's the middle of the year. It has nothing to do. He's talking about etrogim when it's Lag Ba'omer. He's talking about Bet HaMikdash. We're not even close to it. If the Bet HaMikdash was built right now, it'd be empty almost. But he's talking about things that are not relevant, and no one likes it, and everyone's bored of it. But people are excited. About 10 minutes I talk. He says, no, we're going to use the 10 minutes to sing songs. So I said, listen, it says synagogue. He's the rabbi. Whatever you want, no problem. If that's the real reason they want to sing songs, ashrechem. Go sing songs. What can I do? The problem is it was a lie. Why did it was a lie? Because the next week I came to shul. You know, the normal Jew, you go back to the same shul. Even when they tell you can't speak because they want to sing songs. The next week they had 3 speakers. Not 1, 3. 3 speakers filled out the slot. Or actually even took his slot. 3 speakers. Problem was, he didn't like it. Why? Everybody gave me more attention than him. Now, I don't understand jealousy. I don't understand why anyone would ever be jealous of me. You want to speak? Speak. You want to make money? Go make money. You want to jump off a roof? Jump off a roof. What do you want for my life? Why would you ever be jealous of anybody? You want to do it? Go do it. What's the problem? Am I stopping you? Like people always tell me, no, I'm going to be a rabbi one day. Go be a rabbi. I'm going to speak one day. Go speak. You know, I'm going to do. Go. Am I stopping you? What, did I make a monopoly out of public speeches? People always like try to compete with me. What are you competing with? Some guy made a whole video about me last week. He starts the video, you know, this was a great lecture, but he said one thing I didn't like, and he makes a 30-minute video about one thing he didn't like out of 3 hours, which is not even true what he said. Why? Because he also sends emails to my students, and he says, listen, you, in order for you to do tshuva, stop listening to Yaron, and start listening to me, and learn with me every day. What is it? Is there something wrong? What are you going after my students for? There's something wrong with people. They're sick. They're sick. So anyway, to finish off that question, is that you're going to have people that don't have confidence. You have people that don't have emunah. So the best thing to do is do the most you can at the place, but most likely, if you want to do more, you have to do it outside. Do it outside. Do it at a time the rabbi is not there. Do it at your house. Do it at a different Beit Knesset. Do it somewhere else. You're wasting your time, because the more successful you become, the more likely for it to become a bigger Chilul Hashem, where he publicly embarrasses you, and doesn't contain himself. Go ahead.
So you mentioned that your cousin died.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple of people that not related to them, but friends.
Yeah.
They went to sleep, age 50, just went to sleep and not wake up.
Ken, unfortunately.
Why?
Why does it happen? Clock ran out.
I understand that, but never been sick, never suffered,
Doesn't mean anything.
did not observe Judaism, but did a lot of good, but did not observe Judaism.
You believe Hitler did a lot of good?
No, but these people actually, like if Jews needed help in terms of...
Said though, you believe Hitler did a lot of good?
No.
No. Okay, he did. But he did. And so did all of his soldiers. And so did all of his followers. Good is subjective. Meaning, if you're determining good by your own definition, then everybody's good. Hitler is good, Haman is good, Obama is good, Osama is good. They're all good. Because everybody thinks, no one in the world, in the history of man, has ever woken up saying, I am bad. Even the murderer, the serial killer, thinks he's doing the world a service by blowing up the building, killing people, whatever. Everyone thinks that they're doing the world a service, they're a gift to the world. So as far as saying they did good, anyone that did good, it all depends on what the definition of good is. If good is what God said, then okay, you got something. That's one. Two, we just learned that Hashem is not promising you tomorrow. He gave you tools. He gave you gifts. But He also gave you a certain amount of time to use it. Before you came to this world, all of you, myself included, your father and your mother were together. And as a result, the seed came to Shemaim. A angel took the seed to Shemaim and he said, Hashem, what will be with this one? What will be with this one? He says, this one is going to be Joseph. This one's going to be Joseph. Joseph came to the world. Before Joseph came to the world, it says Joseph is going to be rich. Joseph is going to be smart. Joseph is going to be this, he's going to be that, he's going to be he's going to be 5'9". He's going to be 6'4". He's going to be this. He's going to be all these things. They already told in Shemaim. Hashem gave him a menu. The seed is going to be all these things. Last thing on the menu, Joseph is going to live for 52 years. 52 years he's going to live. That's it. No, but Hashem, what about 120? No, 52 years. You can change it with a few ways based on how you use your time. How you use your time. Now, 52 years was given based on certain aspects. For example, one of the things that the sages say is that each word that you spend is a part of your life. Each word that's a wasted word, it's taking away time from your life. So if you like to talk nonsense, just so you know, you're committing suicide. You're wasting your life. On the other hand, when you talk divrei Torah, there's an unlimited amount of Torah you can talk, and it's not counted towards your time in the world. So each time you talk about baseball, basketball, stock market, all types of nonsense, you're aging yourself. You're committing suicide. Each time you talk about divrei Torah, talk about things that are helping the world in a real way according to God, you're elongating your life. You're doing things that are good. Anyone that needs to go, I know it's late. It's okay. You don't have to feel bad. So the key is to know how to utilize your time. Second way to make your life longer is to put yourself in a situation where many people that Hashem wants in the world depend on you. So for example, being someone that's a Baal Tzedakah, that gives tzedakah to a lot of people, a lot of families, even if that person deserves to die, Hashem's cheshbon, the way Hashem runs the world, is that the only way He punishes somebody is if everyone around him that would suffer as a result of his punishment also deserves to suffer. Meaning, if, let's say, for example, someone made a sin and they're supposed to, Hashem and Hashem, die. Supposed to be punished and die. According to the sin, according to what Hashem wrote in the Torah, He says you're supposed to die. But out of the 50 people He has in a circle, one person tzaddik, tzaddikah, doesn't deserve to suffer from hearing about his long lost friend just died. Doesn't deserve it. He's a tzaddik. Hashem says for him that he hasn't talked to him in 20 years, but he's going to find out about it. I'm going to keep him in the world. I'm going to give him more time to do tshuva. Why? Because that tzaddik doesn't deserve to suffer. So the first thing that person needs to do is to surround himself with as many tzaddikim as possible, and also surround himself with as many people that will depend on him. If he has money, then obviously that's a great way to do it. If he has wisdom, that's a great way to do it. Teach it. If he has different things that make other people depend on him. It's not necessarily a get-out-of-jail-free card, because if the time's up, the time's up. But there's definitely different things, like she said, that you can utilize to make your time more valuable to Hashem, to keep you in the world. Next. Is Chalav Yisrael important? Oh, Chalav Yisrael. Chalav Yisrael, I mean, according to Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, he said that the Chalav in America, since they don't have the nature of, or the minhag even, of making Chalav, making milk from other animals other than the kosher animals, you can rely on the Chalav of the Goyim in America. As far as adding a stringency to yourself and only drinking Chalav Yisrael, I mean, personally, I think it's an easy thing to do. Generally, I tell people, don't do chumrot, don't do stringencies. unless you know for sure you could stand it. This is one of the stringencies. It's very, very easy to do. So if you can, do it. If you don't, no one goes to Gehenom for not keeping Chalav Yisrael, though. Like, no one, it's good to do it. You get extra blessing for doing it. And it's a relatively easy chumrah to do, but it's not an obligation. As long as the milk is kosher, it's kosher. It's fine.
If you do some like anti-Semitic, some like goy that could like sneak in some like non-kosher stuff. You don't think that?
In the milk? I mean, the thing is, though, is that you trust the kosher supervision. So you have, you have to trust kosher supervision, or else you wouldn't be able to survive.
Is the rabbi always on duty?
Well, no, it's not even necessarily a rabbi being always on duty. The kosher supervision has their own system. They're supposed to have a rabbi always on duty. But in essence, when something has a kosher symbol on it, you are expected to rely on the kosher symbol. You're not expected to go into every factory and be there for 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to make sure that the milk or the whatever other product that comes out of it has the proper procedures. You are relying on the people that are professionals in the industry that put the kosher symbol on the milk, put the kosher symbol on the candy bar, put the kosher symbol on all these other products. You're relying on them. Obviously, if you're able to, if it's within reason and you're able to double check. So for example, before somebody eats in a restaurant, they should be able to go into the kitchen to just, look around. If the kitchen has only goyim cooking, there's no Jewish person on staff at all, it's already a problem. If the place is filthy, it's a bigger problem. If if you see that they're not exactly so careful about milk and meat, or they're not so careful about, putting the fish next to the meat, they're not so careful about certain things, then obviously that's within reason for you to be responsible for it and not eat at that place. But if you're just going to ignore it, no, it says kosher on the door. Yeah, kosher on the door, but you see inside it's tarif. Kosher on the door, it's a nice sticker. It's worth 30 cents. But you see inside, you went inside, you see the guy is cooking non-kosher meat. He's cooking, he's doing things, you're seeing it. You're responsible for it. So as long as it's within reason. Same thing, for example, with vegetables. You're expected to wash your vegetables, clean them with soap 3 times to make sure there's no bugs. But if you've done that, you cleaned it 3 times with the soap, the way you're supposed to, and there's still somehow some worm that you just can't see with the naked eye. You can only see it with the microscope. You're not going to be held accountable for that. Because you can't see it, and you did everything you could. So you're not responsible for things that are beyond your natural human skills. You try, you do your best effort, and that's it. Triangle K is not reliable for meat. We don't count it as kosher for meat. Bag of chips is not meat. Triangle K is okay for parv, but for meat, many don't hold by it. Like, for example, I think it's Hebrew National hot dogs have the triangle meat, or used to have the triangle K on it. And many people that are frum, that are religious, don't eat those hot dogs that have it, because they don't rely on the kosher certification with the triangle on it for meat. They rely on it for parv, but not for meat. So there's websites to always double check. Some of these things change. Some of these kosher certifications change over time. They improve their service, or perhaps they stop koshering certain products. So there's websites like OU or like other different organizations that supervise the kosher industry. I forgot the name of it, but there's one that I follow that's a non-related person. He's just a rabbi, but he follows all the kosher certifications around the world, and he announces different things. What happens, because a lot of times the factories make mistakes. So, for example, they release a product with a kosher sign on it, a kosher U, kosher OU, whatever it is, but it's not kosher. But the factory made a mistake because they have some kosher products, but this specific thing, this machine forgot to take off the stamp. So they certified something as kosher when it's not kosher. So it's good to stay in touch with the kosher blogs and things like that of knowing about certifications. But it's also good to use your logic. Like if you see something like kosher bacon, it's not kosher. Yes, they have imitations from Turkey, but if it says kosher bacon from a pig, it's not kosher. I don't care how many kosher signs it has. But you have to know also, this sounds ridiculous, but there are, I actually have in my phone. I even took pictures of myself where the supermarkets will have, let's say for example, is a special for Hanukkah, kosher bacon. What's special for Hanukkah? Like special for a Jewish holiday, kosher bacon. It's wrong, it's a typo. Or they say special for Pesach, challah bread. What's special for Pesach, challah bread? There's one thing you're not allowed to eat, you imbecile. But they don't know. These are things that people don't know. So I think that use logic, follow the blogs, follow different things, and do your best. No? Anything else? Okay. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen ve'amen. Next week we're not here, but Bezrat Hashem, watch us live on Facebook. And may all you be blessed, all you get healed, including myself, Bezrat Hashem, and do tshuva. Kol tuv.
How do we see you live?
You go, if you have a Facebook, then you'll be able to watch it.
What if you don't?